Salve, salve amigo ligado no TudoCelular. O mercado de games ganhou uma nova opção de plataforma de streaming de jogos de graça, tanto a nível global como no Brasil. É a jamgg ou jam.gg. E para saber um pouco mais sobre esse novo serviço, o TudoCelular conversou com o gerente de marketing e aquisições da empresa, Moreau. E como a conversa é toda em inglês, você pode ativar aí embaixo no seu player do YouTube as opções de legendas automáticas para conferir toda a nossa conversa em português. Confira.
Thank you for talking to the cellular. And to start, I would like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little about your work.
Hello, Rafael. Thank you so much for hosting me. So my name is Thomas. I work for jam.gg, the social gaming platform that I think we'll talk about today, previously known as piepacker. And I'm the marketing and acquisition director, which means I take care of the whole communication of the company, but also make sure that I bring relevant users into the gaming platform. And before that, I was working for a bunch of video game companies in different countries. Previously, I was head of product marketing for Activision Blizzard in the US. And I was working on Call of Duty Mobile, Candy Crush, and Crash Bandicoot when it got released. And so I moved back to France in order to participate to the startup. So I joined in February 2021, piepacker. And I've been seeing the company grow crazy. So when I was here, it was like number 10, I think, and now we're 56. So yeah, and it's super exciting to be here because it's the launch day for us. Of course, there's lots of work. So I'm going to try to not look around me because it's basically people telling me, ah. But yeah, it's super good to be talking to media. So I'm looking forward to this interview.
Sure, and Jam has just been launched globally, including Brazil. Could you explain more about the platform, its features and goals?
Absolutely. So we are a gaming platform. We're a social gaming platform, online, available on Google Chrome and also Edge, to my knowledge, and soon on other browser. We know the specific request for Brazil, so we're working on it. And the idea is very simple. You join, you sign up. It's completely free. You have zero download. You have no advertising. We don't want advertising on it. You click on a game you like. So there are retro games, neo-retro games, so modern retro game, and also party games. And you can find a bunch of everything. You'll find nostalgic cool games such as Top Gear or Worms or stuff like Glover from Nintendo 64 to very modern retro games such as Micro Mages, Xenocrisis. We were just announcing Blazing Chrome if you've ever played such games. So it's mostly games to share, and the tagline of our product is play together. And it's really important for us because it's the social component of it. So it's kind of a gaming platform and a social media. And that's the vision we have, because it's not just about playing online with, your Google Chrome or your phone. It's also about playing with people. So in one click, you enter your room, you create your game room, like you feel at home. It's your screen, you can change game and stuff. And then you can bring your friends by a link. You share it on social media, WhatsApp, any social media. And then they join your room, and then they can play with you. But you can also play with other people in public rooms. So you can say, I want to play Metal Slug from SNK. Then you just create your game room, or you join people already playing. And that's the really cool stuff about it. It's kind of a social media inside a gaming platform. And it's our vision of cloud gaming. We wanted a cloud gaming platform which does not just sell games and try to get people to sort of use the streaming technology. We wanted streaming technology to be at the service of socializing. So it's not necessarily for people who want to stay home, talk to no one, and play FIFA. It doesn't really work like that. It's more for people who really want to enjoy being together and play anything. I hope I answered your question. So it's available on mobile, desktop. Mobile is on beta only though. So depending on your device, depending on your location to server, you will have either a great experience or sometimes a less great experience. So we're working on improving this as it goes.
Perfect. And what has inspired the creation of Jam?
Wow. So in March 2020, two French people, Benjamin and Jules, were in San Francisco, to my knowledge, and they were like one was from Twitch, the other one was from Amazon AWS, and they were like, it's really painful to stream games and play on the cloud because it's always super laggy and it's always super bad. So they just sat down and sort of like talked about making a compression technology. And they did the compression technology together, and they said, oh, we should start a company. And once the company was started, they were like, we need to put it on games. It makes no sense. We need to try this thing on games. And they went for retro games because, as you probably imagine, retro games are quite light, that low resolution, couple of pixels. And once they tried few features, they tried to put cameras at the same time as the game, which is the innovation we have. You play a game and you've got camera on the side. So it's like Google Hangout has a baby with Xbox Game Pass, like that. And the data they saw was that people really liked it and they were bringing their friends. And then they thought, okay, we need to make a business out of it. It's, come on. And so they met a big venture capitalistic firm called Y Combinator. You may know it. And Y Combinator was like, yeah, you should really push this. So they went ahead, got the money, built the team, and built piepacker.
Sure. And in the last couple of years, the pandemic has made games gain an even bigger role of socialization. And Jam is very focused on multiplayer and socializing. Did the pandemic affect in any way in the creation of the platform?
Your question is what affected the creation of the platform?
Yes, especially pandemic in the last couple of years.
Pandemic. Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. So piepacker, now jamgg, is a pandemic company. I mean, it was born from the pandemic. At the time of the pandemic, we have a full work from home environment. So some of the colleagues are in France. I can see them because I'm located in France. But we have a Brazilian team. I rarely see them. And so we had to learn how to work like that. And so we're making the product that we want to use with our friends, So my friends in Paris or my friends in Denmark, I want to have a platform that really works in terms of technology. So very inspired by the pandemic for sure. But then you have to stay relevant because we have to be really careful with this term. The pandemic literally trapped people in their home. What we want is not to, have people trapped. We want people to socialize. So our vision was a bit more long term. Social media kind of isolate people. You're like stuck on the feed and you're like this. It's like, Instagram, Twitch. Twitch is cool, but people don't talk with each other. They watch mostly. They play, but they watch mostly. And so we saw Discord. And Discord is a ridiculous success. It's amazing. Like everybody loves it. And all it does it really well, but it's like, hey guys, here is a tool to communicate. And yeah, you can play your game like that. So we looked at this and we're like, if you let people do what they want and hang out and have a good reason to meet, then they can actually spend good time. And so instead of just doing a Zoom, I don't know in the pandemic if you also had, a video calls with the friends, it's fun once, twice, 3 times. And then it's like, so, it's really tiring. You're like, I have no energy for this. I just want to be outside. So we wanted a reason. We wanted a good reason. So that really started the company. And now, it's about bringing the couch gaming experience to the living room. So it depends on the country and the type of people, but from country to country, you will have very different data. You have countries where, in Brazil, the data shows that people play like a certain amount of time, but then they really change game a lot. It's like, let's play this. It's not like they're not going to do one game for an hour. And then in other countries, they like one game because it's memory from their childhood, and then they're going to play Top Gear or they're going to play Mario Kart because you can bring your emulator inside you can bring your file into the company, the platform. So it really varies. I think this is what's good about it as well. It's okay if people play for 10 minutes. If they have a good time, they meet a friend and chat. I think the job is done for us. It's about reconnecting the people.
Perfect. And during the tests, which had more than 500,000 Brazilian players, what was the most important feedback you received?
There's so many feedback. First off, Brazil. You want to talk about Brazil particularly?
Yes, we can
So
talk.
it's easier because Brazilian gamers are very kind and they're very empathetic. So it's kind of our favorite country, honestly, because people give suggestions. They're like, oh, we understand this is broken. A team of 10 people is not going to create the new PlayStation. It doesn't work like that. Like, you have to get a lot of engineers. But as we were making stuff, we had a lot of ideas from the community. And I think because we were listening to the people, it was easy to get more and more and more. And the freemium strategy was also really important for us. Turns out Brazil loves free games. It's not necessarily the case in Europe, so it was very easy to take off in Brazil. But the community on Discord, in terms of game selection, in terms of how they use the platform, Brazilians have been amazing at telling us what they want. Like, I want the chat there. I want to be able to remove somebody if I don't like the person. All these things is mostly community asks. And we've done back in the days, we did a Kickstarter to really get the platform going. And it's funny because Kickstarter, you need to pay to get in the Kickstarter, and it's not necessarily every country who's going to spend $400 on a Kickstarter. But Brazil really liked it, and it was like, I want to play this platform. So we had almost half a million Brazilian already. I think a lot more actually, but it's a lot of people coming back, and they're very social. If we look at the difference between other countries, particularly like the West, Europe.
Sure. And this is the main difference between Brazilian players' profile and the market here in Brazil and the rest of the world.
So it's really hard to, basically it's super hard to make shortcuts here or to give like some kind of average. But what I would say is that retro gaming, because until now it has been a lot of retro gaming or modern retro gaming, is a certain vibe of game. It's a game, you can laugh at it because sometimes the design back in the days was super funny, and even the retro gaming is quite hard. So it's the mindset has to be relax, take it easy, have fun. We'll see tomorrow. If it breaks, it's a beta. So when we had a beta, it can break. It's normal. And so, like Brazilians were very easygoing to play the game and to try it. That was the main difference. Now that we're launching jam.gg, I think the standard is a little, it's a little higher. And we obviously look at the competition and we're like, okay, the bar is really high. So we're going to optimize. We're going to put friend system. We're going to put clan system. We're going to be able to stream from Twitch, all this stuff that the players want. But we need to make sure that the quality is really high. So I think Brazil is the number one country right now, but we need to still make sure that we respect the ambition of Brazilians. So it's going to be interesting to see what we develop.
And why did the platform change its name from piepacker to jam.gg?
There are many reasons. One, we passed the 2 million user, and we started with piepacker because of a fun anecdote, which was the compression technology that I mentioned at the beginning, like the anecdote of the founders. It was kind of a joke on, Pied Piper, if you've watched the Silicon Valley TV show, because they were packing pies, which was their unit of compression. And so they went with this name, but then in different countries, it means nothing, or it's like weird and people didn't get it, or people can't pronounce it. So we wanted something more simple and easy, and we wanted the good game in it, .gg for the good game, it's cool, it's fair play, it's fun. And we had a brainstorm with the team, and one person came up with the idea, like, why don't we just change the name to Jammin? Jammin, instrument, playground, experience. And we're like, yeah, it's totally cool. So we went for something simple, and we wanted a new chapter because now that we have mobile, which is a beta, it opens a lot of doors. It opens more countries in of course Latin America, but also Southeast Asia. We can take the concept so much in so many other countries that it makes sense to not be a weird name. You know, like piepacker is a little bit abstract. Like jam is easy. It's like it works. It's 3 letters. So we wanted that. And then the last one was, because we're online, even if we're going to have we have a progressive app, but we are going to develop a proper app for App Store and the Google Play Store. So we wanted something that is really very easy to find. So if you just type jam.gg anywhere, it takes you to the website. And we wanted this kind of shortcut. Like, don't make people think too much. Let's just get in the game. You know, no complication.
Sure. And for the lay people, how do games run on Jam? Is there any minimum requirement?
So we took the assumption that cloud gaming streaming technology is very hard to get in countries and cities and setups if you don't have a big high-end phone or a big laptop and an amazing fiber internet. So from the very beginning, we wanted to have a product that really runs on as many devices and setup as possible. We say in the press release that we are low-tech friendly, and that's a guiding principle for the design. So what it means is we are trying to optimize for fun and not the resolution and the streaming technology. So if you allow me to explain how it works, basically you have a cloud gaming technology which uses the servers from AWS, Amazon Web Services. And the way it does that is that it arrives on your computer or your phone, but we have a hybrid cloud technology, which means your computer is doing a part of the streaming, the servers is doing a part of the streaming, and what you see on the screen is the bare minimum. So you see your game input, and we give you the game input, but the cameras from people are a preview of what's happening in the cloud. So like right now, we're having a Google Meet conversation. It's a lot of server, like talking to each other to have the perfect input. We fake it a lot by having this session as a preview hosted in the cloud and by your computer. And that allows us to have something really fast. It's our technology, obviously.
Sure.
And we're optimizing for fluid sessions. So if you want to play with somebody from Philadelphia in the US, if you're in Sao Paulo, it's going to work. If a French person wants to play with somebody from London, we did it yesterday, it works perfectly. It's super fluid, which is really cool because you can't get this on Google Stadia or Amazon. It's pretty hard, actually. The caveat to this is if you're far away from a server, and that just depends on the server location, it may be less fluid. And then, it's more depending on the technology of the internet you have. If you have a really bad Wi-Fi, it's going to be hard to play. However, you can still play on local with a friend. So a friend at home shows up, you have a local mode completely working, like super easy to work. It's different than, connecting people with like, if I want to play with you, if you're in Sao Paulo, it is very likely that it works well. But then if you're in the countryside, or if I'm in the countryside of France, it might not work perfectly. But that's the case for every cloud gaming technology, actually. And in terms of phone, to complete, because your media is mostly phone oriented, I checked it out. It's recommended to try the beta on high-end phones, but it's mostly a matter of Wi-Fi. So if your Wi-Fi is really good, you should not have too much problem. And we're improving it. It's just the beginning on the phones.
And in spite of running on mobile phones, you said it only runs on Google Chrome and Edge. Sure. And you said there is any plan to create an app and expand in the future for more browsers.
Yeah, so absolutely. We're aware that there is a web browser super famous in Brazil that we need to develop. I don't remember it, but if you tell me, I can.
Opera.
I think this is it. Yeah, Opera X something.
Yes, Opera GX, I think.
I think this is it. So some of the communities in certain countries have been like, you have to develop it on it, and we're like, okay, cool. and this is on the developers. But because we're 55 people, we make bets and we take it one step at a time. The App Store is for the future because it's a lot of maintenance, it's a lot of SDK updates. We have other ambitions before that, but we know that we'll have to do it at some point. Even for acquisition, it's a free product, so you need to do advertising. It's not just word of mouth. Advertising is so much easier when you have an app. Otherwise, you're advertising on the web, which is limiting. So, but yeah, no, it's an ambitious project, and the optimization will be on more browser and eventually on mobile on stores.
Sure. And for this beginning, there are deals with 26 publishers, I think. And what can we expect for the future? More games, more publishers, more ways of playing, maybe?
I hope more of everything you said. um, so you've got the three main avenues that we're looking for. First one is more retro gaming, because now that we have a decent catalog of retro games, it inspires a lot of developer to come to us and say, oh, you have a community, you have multiplayer feature, you take care of the cloud. Okay, cool. I'm going to give you your game. I'm going to give you my game because I want the community of piepacker to to play on that. It's getting used to it.
Yeah.
So you've got more retro gaming. Then you have superstar retro gaming, or superstar like companies. It's going to be case by case because, as you may expect, they are looking for a lot of money. And on our side, we have this guideline of going for fun and really lots of like party games, board games. Like, we want people who want to work and design stuff with us. It's not just about the money, it's about designing a nice experience for multiplayer. So if you take games like Overcooked or Moving Out from Team 17, they're perfect. It's like a Mario Party game, 4 people, everybody has fun, and you see each other. Perfect. So this is coming to the platform in 2022. You have indie retro multiplayer, such as we have No More Heroes from Mad Panic, which is super fun, also coming to the platform soon. And then for the future, we will work with development studios. One is Brazilian. Don't ask me which one. I will not know. But we're co-developing fun board games and in discussion with very famous game, but I can't reveal too much, where the camera makes sense. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to say, but basically we have a discussion with a lot of people who want to develop things.
Sure. And finally, I would like you to send a message to the cellular readers who want to know more about Jam.
So it's a message to your reader?
Yes.
Okay. I would say, if you are curious about a new way to play with people online for free, and if you are not afraid to try a lot of game and having a ton of fun, I think you should check out jam.gg, because there's something for you there.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Moreau.
Yeah, thank you so much, Raphael.